Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared. Well, we apologize. We let you guys down. We weren't here Wednesday, but schedules, conflicting work, and, life happens. But there's one thing that we will not leave you guys without, and that is our best bets episode. Obviously, last week did not pan out how we imagined. 1-4, our second losing week of the entire season. Still obviously net positive. Looking good in the contest, but we need a bounce back week.
Yes.
And it starts this week. We've gone over the board. Just because we weren't here Wednesday did not mean we didn't put the same amount of time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into our picks and decision making as we did. So let's get right into our picks in this episode. But before we do that, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude, Dynell. What's going on, man?
What's going on, my guy? We back at it again for week 11, bro. Tough week to say the least. Honestly, though, that was a bit of a disappointment, of course, man. But we're ready to bounce back. I brought back my motherfucking shovel. I'm ready to fucking dig. Are you ready to dig, my guy, and let them know where our picks are?
Oh, dude, we've been digging. I will say, obviously, last week, the Ravens were just a heartbreaker. They were in control of that game. The Bengals, obviously, that was a swing and miss. The Jets, my God, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stay away from them. But good news for you guys is, spoiler alert, we are not on the Jets this week. Round of applause. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Listen, we understand that team is awful. Their defense is so good, and there's just always value on them. So it's so hard for us to stay away. But we have decided we're going to do what's best for us, our mental health, and the podcast listeners, those guys who follow us every single week back in our picks. But without further ado, Dynell, let's get right into our week 11 picks.
Let's go.
All right, here we go.
So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return.
Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry.
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
The train is here. The leadoff is the Carolina Panthers plus 10.5 versus the Cowboys. Panthers at home. I know. What are we doing? The Cowboys can beat the shit out of these bad teams. But wait, Dak Prescott on the road, 79% or I guess 80% completion at home with 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Oh, that's good. That sounds good. So why are you fading him? Because Dak Prescott on the road is a different quarterback. He just melts down in these bad spots. We saw it versus the Niners. We saw it versus the Eagles. We saw it versus the Arizona Cardinals with the Josh Dobbs experiment that is, they won. So with all that being said, this Panthers team is very different at home. They play better. They beat some teams at home. They lose close at home, and we're getting 10.5 across 2 key numbers. I think this is the spot where you have to go with the way the game has been going the last few away games for Dak and just hope that, he lays an egg. Truthfully, I'll be playing a little bit on the Panthers money line. Not much, a little sprinkle, but I will be playing a little bit on the Panthers money line. This just is a spot where we see Dak melt down, and I could be walking right into it. We could be walking right into the fattest trap laid, but there is a reason why all the single, every bet, every teaser, every parlay, is starting with the Cowboys this week. So we're going to take our shot on the Panthers plus 10.5. Dynell, did I miss anything there?
Honestly, no. I'm going to basically add the fact that I'm going to back it up, man. The Carolina Panthers are surprisingly a good pass defensive team. I think they're 6th in NFL in yards per game allowed. And then on top of that, when you put that in perspective with the Cowboys rushing attempts, man, or rushing yards, we like, where's Tony Pollard? Tony Pollard has been surprisingly non-existent throughout the offense. The Cowboys seem to be a little pass happy right now, especially against those bad teams. So that's going to put them in bad spots. Like I said, I'm back in Carolina all the way.
Yes, sir. Love to hear it. Donna, why don't you tell the folks what we got for our second pick?
Number 2. Well, we got them bad boys from the Steel City. The Steelers plus 1.5 against the Browns. Why? I'll tell you why. Well, let's be honest, guys. They just lost Deshaun Watson out for the year. Very, very tough break for the Browns. Now, I'm not saying that Deshaun Watson was great, but you could start to see him turn back to form, making those lot of big throws in the clutch last week. That's what really kept the Browns into the game. And, of course, a pick 6 helped them out to cover that spread and win that game against the Ravens. But we got a rookie quarterback going against that Mike Tomlin Steelers defense, man. What are we talking about here? They're gonna struggle to put up points. And to be honest with you, that I can understand how people might say, oh, that Steelers pick is kind of ugly. Yeah, we get it. But at the end of the day, like you said, you got to back that defense, and you got to back the Steelers. For some odd reason, man, they find ways to win, no matter how it is. Kenny Pickett can throw for 99 yards. They'll find a way to win. And like I said, yes, and I understand. The Browns defense is top notch, still one of the best in the league. But at the end of the day, man, this is a division matchup. A lot of the shit goes thrown out the window. And you're telling me a rookie quarterback is going to be a Mike Tomlin-led Steelers team? What are we talking about? Steelers plus 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, he hit it right on the head. The rookie quarterback versus the Mike Tomlin coach defense. It's just, this spot was before Deshaun Watson was even ruled out for the rest of the season. This was a spot where I was monitoring the Steelers open up at 4, and I was like, wow, like that number's not right. And yeah, Dynell said it. The Steelers are not the most appealing pick every single week, but this team is 6-3, and I think people forget that. People forget this Steelers team is 6-3. They have a chance to go 7-3. Like, we did not see this coming. We did not see this coming at all. Dynell and I, in our divisional previews, we said this might be the year that Tomlin might go under 500. Well, at this pace, he's going to be sore over. So this is just a prime Mike Tomlin rah-rah spot, divisional game. And I think the Steelers pull this one off. I think Kenny Pickett's finding his footing. Deontay Johnson has just been a menace over the middle of the field. He has just been such a blanket for Kenny Pickett. He runs those inside routes and he has speed, so he gets behind the defense. He's just a nuisance. So I think as long as they go into the game plan and don't turn the ball over versus Browns team, I think they'll be okay. And also, if you guys like props, DTR passing yards, I think it's like 177. Slam the under. He might not hit 150 yards. So I love the Browns under for the quarterback passing, and I am all over the Steelers in the spread. Moving on to our third pick of the week, another divisional game. We have the Chicago Bears plus 8.5 versus the Lions. I know. What? Lions at home? You guys always say you love back in Jared Goff at home. Okay. Justin Fields is back. We also have to take into consideration that when this line opened up at 10.5 and it went down, that was because this Justin Fields, that's how valuable he is to this team. That's how much he changes the dynamic of the offense. He's technically you can't scheme for Justin Fields. He is so on the fly, very elusive in the backfield. He's hard to get down. He makes plays out of nothing. And that's why he's so scary. We got to remember what this Bears team was doing with Justin Fields and DJ Moore before he went down. They put on a clinic versus the Washington Commanders. They were just putting up numbers. DJ Moore looked like a top 3 receiver in the league for a few weeks. And, I don't think they're going to miss a beat. I think Justin Fields has developed this chemistry with DJ Moore, and you can see it. The more they played together, the more they got into rhythm, and the Bears defense or the Bears offense was actually putting up points. Now, this Lions team, they're going to go up against a pretty solid test because the Bears defense has improved. And, a testament to Montez Sweat pass rushing ability, they've been shutting down the run. The last few weeks, they have not let up many yards versus the run. And I know their passing defense is subpar, but if you can stop the run and force, and that the pass is coming, that does nothing besides help you. If you can prepare for the pass on 3rd and long, get this Lions team in the 3rd and long, and you can shut down Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think this Bears team will be in a pretty good spot. I actually have the Bears losing this by 4 to 6 points. That's what I have it rated at. We're just getting too much value at 8.5. So I love the Bears here, Dynell.
Oh no, like I said, I'm back there with you, and you didn't miss anything, man. Like I brought up, like I was talking about earlier, that Chicago defense is surprisingly number 1 in yards per rush in the league right now. So, like I said, when you can really focus on the pass, it makes the game a whole lot easier. This is gonna, like I said, this is going to be one of those exhilarating picks, man. I'm actually gonna keep an eye on. I'm gonna love to watch.
Yeah, I'm going to love to see how Justin Fields comes back and, gets going. They'll tell you what, those legs don't forget how to run. He is going to be elusive. Let's go Justin Fields. Dynell, tell the fellas what our 4th pick of the week is.
All right, boys, hop on the bus, man. We're going to drive down to Miami. Take that 13.5 against the Raiders. Why? I tell you why. I mean, actually, do I really need to tell you why? I mean, honestly, this is one of those games, man. Dolphins against terrible teams at home, obliterates them every time. They obliterated the Giants. We all know what happened with that. They obliterated. I think they had two other spots where I believe they covered double-digit spreads. The only time they really lost.
They went down by 2 touchdowns to the Panthers and still covered.
Right. Sure. Remember that game? Sheesh. But on top of that, this is not a great team. No offense to the Raiders, the rah-rah spot. Woo, yeah. Antonio Pierce, trust me, I was on that train for a little bit, but now it's time to hop off. All right, guys, let's back to reality. This Raiders team is not as talented. Jacoby Myers and this offense has been non-existent. I think he has 5 catches in the last 3 weeks, and you're going to need to put up offense against this Miami team. Granted, they have Devontae Adams, but you can't expect Aiden O'Connell to keep up against this Dolphins offense. What the fuck are we talking about? On top of that, isn't Aiden O'Connell a rookie? Yes, he is. On the road? Yes, he is. Back at 13.5, no doubt.
Yeah, we got Jalen Ramsey back. So, you have your shutdown cornerback, and
Yes,
he's
sir.
only getting, he's getting healthier. He's getting more, into key. We got to remember, when we take big spreads, we like them when they're at home. And this is the most explosive offense in the league, potential, obviously at home. The Dolphins team, this team has not put up less than 31 points at home this entire season. So that obviously plays into character for this pick. That's why the spread's so high. The books don't make these numbers so large because, they're giving out freebies. They make it because the Dolphins, this team put up 70 points. This team has put up 70 points in week 3. When everybody's trying to figure it out, they put up 70 points in the 3rd week of the season. But yeah, this Dolphins team, they put up points. And, I will say, obviously there's been weird injury, luck with this team. We're going to be on the Dolphins. Now, if it comes out that Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle are out, then we'll reevaluate because we do want both playmakers on the field. Really, I'm talking about Waddle because he keeps dealing with this like weird back injury. He's good. He looks fine. And then he's back, and then it's back. So, we're going to monitor that. That is why you should follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_, because if we have any last minute audibles, if we have to change out picks, that's where we would do so. And we will post that accordingly because obviously you guys keep up with our contest lines and picks. So just brief disclosure on that one. But other than that, if the Dolphins receivers are healthy, this team is, I see them putting up 40 points this week. I would not be surprised.
And they got A-Chain. They got A-Chain back too.
Yeah, he's coming off of IR. Yeah, he's coming off of IR. So, the dogs are back and we're at home, good weather. I love this spot. This is where the Raiders, love story ends. Give us the Dolphins at home. And that brings us to our final pick of the week, the caboose. And we love leaving you guys with an ugly pick to end the week. The last few weeks, the caboose has been, the ugly stepchild. But I'll tell you what, this ugly stepchild, we've got hope for. They've got goals going on. They've got aspirations to grow up into something bigger. We're looking at the bigger picture here, and the redheaded stepchild this week is none other than the Denver Broncos -2.5 at home. I know this Josh Dobbs guy has looked unreal, but the biggest thing with Josh Dobbs is he is crucial when he uses his legs. And I'll give it to him. His pocket awareness, because he's been in the league since 2018.
18, 19, 5th round pick with the Steelers, I believe. Yeah, I think 18. I think that's what it was.
So he's been in the league for a few years. He's obviously he's got some miles under his belt. He's been on several teams, and that's just a testament to who he is. These teams take a shot on him. But with that being said, he uses his legs. This Broncos defense is surprisingly fast. So if they force him outside of the pocket, they have enough speed to contain him, catch up, and he's not going to be running loose like he was last week. The Vikings are super inflated, and it's just because they've been pulling out these ridiculous wins. Like Josh Dobbs comes in here, he comes in after a Hall got hurt. He wins the game. Last week, whatever, that happened. But we've got to remember, people are sleeping on Russell Wilson's progress this year.
Oh,
the
man.
play calls are coming out faster. Sean Payton has said that he's gotten the play call out in the huddle quicker. They have more times to make adjustment at the line. Russ is having more time to evaluate the defense, and they're not having these stupid ass turnovers. And I know the last time we bet on the Broncos, Russ had that self fumble off his knee, and the Jets sealed the game. But this Broncos team has just gotten better every single week, and now we're getting them at home with this kind of a buy low spot for the Broncos and a buy high for the the Vikings. A lot of people are coming on the Vikings, and I understand Josh Dobbs is a cool story but we got to, we're here to be professional. We're here to make the right side, and the right side is none other than the Denver Broncos, Dynell.
Yes, sir. I mean, and like I said, praise and credit to Joshua Dobbs, man, the rocket scientist, the motherfucker that just finds ways to make games interesting, man. And no offense to him, but I need to go in on these NFC South teams, Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints. I mean, the reason why me and Jared was talking about that 6 team that didn't make it in our list. because of one reason, because the offense being totally inconsistent. Well, you seen it last week. Plain as day. Simple as that. Derek Carr eventually got hurt, and Jameis Winston had to come in and damn near save the day. And then the game before that, you play an Atlanta team, and I don't know. Arthur Smith, man. Good God. I mean, shit. Like I said, Jared, I know you wasn't here that podcast when I put him in the dungeon. I know, like I said, I know you work for his pops because you work for FedEx right now in this moment, but nah, he's on the shit list. He's in the fucking dungeon for a fucking reason. Matter of fact, Dennis Allen's in the dungeon for a fucking reason because I still don't understand why Jameis Winston didn't get a shot over any of those past 2 years he played. But that's besides the point. This Denver defense has given up, in the last 4 games, 17 points to the 49ers, 10 points to the Green Bay Packers, 28 points against the Atlanta Falcons in a way, and then 19 points against the New Orleans Saints, and that came all in the fourth quarter, man. This Denver defense in the last 4 games has covered 19 points against the Kansas City Chiefs, 17 points against the Green Bay Packers, 9 points against the Kansas City Chiefs again when they played again, and then 22 points to the Buffalo Bills, and they've been forcing turnovers. This defense has definitely stepped up and show out. Pat Surtain is making his presence noticed, and damn right, Russell Wilson is starting to cook again, and we love to see it. We love to see it. So you best believe I'm backing up the Broncos minus 2.5 against the Vikings, who, yes, at the end of the day, have been playing really well, but still, no Justin Jefferson, no Kirk Cousins. And like I said, bro, that defense is going to play really well. They're going to be flying around.
Yeah, I mean, people are forgetting that this Broncos team has literally just beat the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Packers. And I know the Packers have kind of been on a downward spiral, but that's 3 competitive teams. And, like you saw it. So this Broncos team's no joke. They're elevating as the season goes on. They had a slow start. So we're going to catch them at the right time. This is a buy low spot, in my opinion. We'll take the inflation on the Vikings into our favor, and we'll take the Broncos minus 2.5 with our last pick of the contest. So that wraps up our 5. Panthers plus 10.5, Steelers plus 1.5, Bears plus 10.5. Bears plus 8.5, Dolphins minus 13.5, and Broncos minus 2.5. That leads us to our next segment. Survivor is still alive. We are still alive. A lot of the folks last week didn't have the Cowboys. That's because when they had the Cowboys, the Cardinals beat them. This week, okay, if you guys have been following me every week, we're kind of still sitting in the driver's seat, but we're going to have to make our first ballsy pick of the season. I know. It's just that point of the year. We're sitting at week 11. Let's see let me give you guys a quick update with my current Survivor pool. Last week, we had about 6,000 to 8,000. I can't exactly remember what it was, but a lot of people surprisingly had the Bengals last week, and obviously the Bengals went down to the Texans. We used the Cowboys last week. They obviously came through. There was 107,000 people in this Survivor pool. We are down to 4,242 people. Yes, we are still alive. So if you've been following my Survivor pick the entire year, we are still surviving. So without further ado, let's reveal this week's Survivor pick. This week's Survivor pick is led by luscious, long, golden hair, the prince of the AFC South, none other than Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Dougie P coming off of a bad loss.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. They're playing the Titans. The Titans offense has been struggling a little bit. Is the Jags defense the best one to get right against? Not necessarily. They get pressure on the quarterback. So, obviously we were on the Jags last week and for our regular picks, and they got stomped by the Niners. But I believe in Dougie P to come out and, coach this team, and the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. We want them at home in the Survivor. They check a lot of the boxes for me. The reason why we're not taking the Lions this week is because we might have to take them next week. And I know in Survivor, you're not supposed to look ahead too much, but we are getting to the point in the season where I kind of have to be strategical. So I really think the Jags are the right play this week. I could be biting. Oh, man. If the Jags lose this week, I'm going to be sick because I'm trying to save the Lions. But this is the week that we kind of have to make that sacrifice in order to prolong this, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So we are going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Do I have the Dynell stamp of approval?
Damn right. Shit. Matter of fact, I'll double down on that. I'll take that coffee and mayo shit again. Round 2.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. If the Jaguars lose, Dynell will chug some coffee and mayonnaise. Love to hear it. So that has been our 5 picks of the week. That is our Survivor. Our goal is to have a winning week with the picks and to obviously keep on surviving. It's getting, we're in the second half of the season. So, which sounds crazy to say that we're in week 11 already. I feel like we just started.
Oh my goodness, man. Time flies.
I do, dude. You're telling me. So, that's been our 5. That's our Survivor. Dynell, did you have any last minute words for the listeners?
Same time as every podcast, knuckleheads. Bet smartly, don't be dumb, bet responsibly. Follow us on the Shred the Spread podcast on Twitter. Like I said, them updates will be flying. If any injury updates come up, we will let you guys know. Like I said, that Dolphins one, we want to have those weapons out there. So like I said, stay tuned and keep on digging, guys. Shit, we're more than halfway through the season. Let's keep on rolling. Let's ride.
He said it best. For the Shred the Spread podcast, I am your host, Jared. He's Dynell. And for our awesome producer, Tyler, this has been our Week 11 best bets for our NFL Pick'em contest. Follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_. You can also follow us on TikTok at Shred the Spread. Until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.